Hello and welcome to episode number 73 of NasCard Radio, where trading cards and racing meet. I'm your pal Val, and with me is the amazing Jason. Jason, how are you?
Hey, Val, doing well tonight.
And the man, the myth, the legend, Hall of Famer, Logan King NASCAR. How are you?
I'm doing super.
That's awesome. Great to be with you guys again. Got a good show today. We're going to discuss the 1996 Burning Rubber set. It was 25th anniversary of memorabilia cards. Talking about some eBay auctions as well. And then we have a big F1 race coming up this weekend. But first, let's thank our sponsors, Panini America, and our seasonal sponsor, Greenway Press. F1, let's go over there. We got a big race coming up. There's only 2 races left. The next one is Sunday, December 5th at 12:30 p.m. That is the Grand Prix of Saudi Arabia. So we have Lewis Hamilton -8 behind Max Verstappen. So it's going to get really close, and Mercedes already boasting about their secret weapon there. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking for Lewis Hamilton to probably win this race too. He'll probably be on the pole. He'll probably lead every lap, and he'll probably win the race. And Max Verstappen will be probably second, which means going into the last race, they're going to be pretty much virtually tied.
That would be a nail biter. And then if you're the Red Bull racing team, you got nothing for them if that happens. So we'll see. All they can do is look and watch and hope for something. I don't know, but we will see if that happens. So
yeah, the Mercedes team has found something with the engine that's making it just giving them just that extra boost of horsepower to stay ahead of of everybody, especially Max Verstappen. And I think they're doing something to the wing too, but according to F1, it's illegal. So we'll just see how this one goes.
Well, actually, I just thought about that. There's an extra week in there now, so we'll see if Red Bull is able to find something in that extra week.
Well, if they've got something in their back pocket, now's the time to use it.
I mean, they're so close, both of them, to the championship. It's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to these last 2 races, and it's a night race too. So,
well, it's so hot over there. I guess having it at night's going to really help out.
So, anything else on F1, gentlemen? We'll move on.
No, I mean, I will say something real quick about F1 and Topps. Topps has some Topps Now Formula One cards out there for sale. They'll probably, by the time this episode drops, there'll probably be a few hours left. So you might want to go out there and check out Topps Now.
Yeah, some of them have been pretty interesting, but I haven't been checking out the print runs. But I'm definitely eyeing, whoever wins that championship to, because if Lewis wins, you'll have his record-breaking 8th championship, or if you have Max winning, you have his first championship. So I'll probably be all in for that, definitely. But
yeah, an interesting tidbit, real quick, on Max Verstappen. He has 19 wins in his career so far, and he holds the record. I don't know if this is a good record that you want to hold, but he holds the record for having the most wins without winning a championship in Formula One.
Ooh, so maybe he's destined to win then.
Yep, maybe.
But I'll say I did pick up one Lewis Hamilton, and I can't remember if I talked about it last week or not, but it's a 2018 Topps Trumps SGC 9. So it's all black border. I thought it looked pretty sharp. He's got the sunglasses on, so I think all in was less than $40.
You stole that.
So I think he even tried, to get something graded by SGC, and then the card itself. And I don't know, the way Mercedes is pouring on, he's might be set up there for 8th championship. So I'm thinking any pre-2020 top or the 2020 tops, released F1. So anything pre-2020, I think is, if you can get it for a decent price, it might be good long term. So we'll see. Like I said, we talked about Lewis Hamilton a lot last week. So there's nobody except Max who can catch him. So I don't see anybody coming out the next few years challenging him other than that. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm saying go Max Verstappen. Go Max.
Definitely. I guess I need to get some Max Verstappen cards too. I guess they're already kind of, I won't say high, but they're up there too. So I'm used to those cheap prices being a NASCAR guy.
Yep.
So, but moving over to memorabilia cards, and Press Pass, to my knowledge, was the first to unveil some of these memorabilia cards. I know, I think it was Upper Deck that released the first autograph card. I think that was maybe 1990 Upper Deck, and I can't remember if it was Reggie Jackson or if it was Nolan Ryan. That was the first one. Jason, you remember?
I don't remember which one. It's definitely one of the two, but I don't remember which one. I want to say it was Reggie because he was in all of the advertisements, but I don't know that for a fact.
Logan, do you know?
I do not know, but I would have to agree with Dr. Jason.
Yeah, I think he's right with the Reggie, but so that was 1990, but not until 1996. And so I was looking at the Beckett Racing Collectibles Price Guide Annual number 32. And if you look under the 1996 Press Pass Burning Rubber set, it says this 7-card set is the first to incorporate race-used equipment into trading cards. Press Pass took tires from winning cars in the 1995 season and had these cut into pieces. These pieces were attached to the cards and appear in this set. Each card is individually numbered to 500, and the backs contain a certificate of authenticity. The cards were inserted at a rate of 1 per 480 packs. So I can't remember how many packs were in a box, but I don't think there were 48.
That sounds like it's a case. That sounds like it's a $20 case.
Yeah, so there were 7 cards in that set. Kyle Petty, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, Terry Labonte, Sterling Marlin, Bill Elliott, and Mark Martin.
Yeah. I actually pulled a Mark Martin that year. Still got it.
Yeah, so you actually were collecting back in 96. I was collecting, but I wasn't collecting NASCAR. So, and back then, when you hit a card like that, that was a major deal. Not like getting, a memorabilia card out of a pack now.
Oh yeah, I mean, when I hit that thing, I was literally jumping up and down, and my wife's looking at me like I've gone nuts or something, because I was so excited to hit one. Like you said, it's not like it is now. And to kind of go further with this, Press Pass was the very first ones to put any kind of memorabilia on any kind of trading cards whatsoever. So we can credit Press Pass for starting the memorabilia card craze that we all enjoy today.
But Press Pass, not only did they do that, but, I think they were very creative. And I know on this level, they didn't have really an equal, but they were still aggressive, and they produced memorabilia cards for all kinds of different stuff, right?
I don't know for sure.
What do you mean all kinds of different stuff? Like different sports?
I was going to have Logan put his list of different stuff.
Gotcha.
That's what you mean by different stuff.
Different swatches. Okay.
Yeah, different types of memorabilia. Okay, yeah, check this out. This is what they've used over the years for different types of memorabilia that they put on cards. Of course, they started with tires, fire suits, sheet metal, shoes, gloves, hats, window nets, pit signs, shirts, car covers, seat belts, flags, windshields, windshield tear-offs, socks, lug nuts, and driver seats. So we have had you could about put together a whole car with with what they put out over the years.
I'm trying to think of something they didn't do. Then I don't think as much. They incorporate so much. I know the windshield that was in the 2014 Total Memorabilia, and that is a majorly thick card. I thought that was really cool with the windshield, and I know I've gotten car covers and what was the other one? Oh, piece of Daytona tire. I think it was. They had a big swatch of it in, I think, Chase for the Cup or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most unique thing that they've done is the windshield by far. I mean, because think about cutting glass, how much fun that was, and how many samples that they made that actually broke before they got everything cut.
Well, that might be the case because those are, I don't think they're serial numbered that high with those. But like I said, it was made. It's really thick. I was saying before we were come on that I'd like to get one of those and like take that apart and reverse engineer it to look at that outside of the trading card.
Yeah, I was looking at the print runs on those, and they had 6 different drivers, and for each of those 6 different drivers, they had a blue, what they called a blue, I guess, card, which was numbered to 175, and then they had the other card that was called melting, which I think was like a dark part of the windshield or something. I'm not really sure. I don't remember 100%, but those were only 25. So there was only 200 times 6 drivers. So there's only, when you think about it, there's only 1,200 of those floating around in the world right now.
Which now wouldn't be a crazy numbering, but back then, that's super short printed compared to some of the other inserts and stuff that was in packs.
Yep, sure is. So I like those. And if you see them, I mean, and you think they're cool, I'd pick some up. I may try to go for that whole set. I've got one, Carl Edwards.
So I think I had maybe Jimmy Johnson and Casey Kane. I think those are the 2. And I've got a few. I think I've got numbered to 25 of each of them. To your point, they've got a little piece of black on them, like maybe it was around the rim or around the edge of the glass, as opposed to the clear part, because it shows like a tab or something. And then also in 2014, that's why I was buying them, was the dirt tire from the race from Eldora, and that's got that. Yeah, I know they've done tires before, but they actually had the square tread from those dirt tires, which were really cool.
Yeah, you picked up some of those in at the National this past year.
Yeah, I did. I didn't get any of the knob square, but I did get sidewall. It's always cool to get those Goodyear parts of that logo on the sidewall. But yeah, I did pick up a few of those because I think Ty Dillon's in it. I think Larson's in it as well.
So let's go around the horn. What is your favorite type of racing card relic?
My favorite relic.
Not like a set, but just like your favorite item.
The one thing I love, I don't know why, but it's the slice of lug nut. It's just that, it's cut, I'm sure it's cut really thin. And I've got like a Tony Stewart where it's part of lug nut and then it's autographed as well. But that lug nut, I don't know. There's just, if you have a really fancy piece of fire suit or whatever, that's cool, whatever. But I don't know. It's that lug nut. And so, but I don't want to steal anybody else's thunder. So, but.
Well, I like the lug nuts too. And I think it's cool how they put some kind of like acrylic or some kind of epoxy over them and, seal over them. I guess that's to kind of keep them from rusting or whatever, but, or keep people from getting cut maybe. But, I'm going to go with the, with the uniforms, the driver uniforms.
See, my pick is going to be the tires, but I like the thicker swatches, not the thinner. Like the press pass seemed like they were the thinner ones where Panini kind of has the thicker chunks. And I never liked the tire pieces that were almost like the dust, where almost like they were burning rubber sets or whatever they were called.
Yeah, they actually, I guess, pulverized or whatever it was, and they actually printed on the card. There were some of those.
But unfortunately, the swatches are almost always pure black. I mean, there's no color or anything to them besides that, which is unfortunate. But I just like the texture of it.
So you might like, it was the late 90s, the Daytona tires, and it was a big piece of the tire where you could, it was almost the width of the card. It was only, maybe half-inch high or whatever, but it was a long piece. And there was also another one that was autographed as well. But yeah, that's why I like the sidewalls, like breaks that color up as opposed to just a piece of black rubber on the card, but sidewall or something else. Or even when you get the little nubs from the sidewall, I don't know if you guys have ever had that, where it protrudes out, and so when you open it out of the pack, it might be bent a little bit, or just like goes bing and pops up, and and I don't know if you ever had those or gotten any of those autographed, but every time I give them to a driver to autograph, they have to touch it. They, if it's a piece of their glove or their piece of their tire, they're checking that out. Of course, I do it as well when I've done some box breaks or pack breaks, and I get it of like, kind of checking it out, getting that. So that's always cool for me.
Yeah. I like the driver suits because, there's so many different colorful patches that you can get. I remember pulling a Dale Earnhardt Senior patch. Gosh, it was long before 2001 at our LCS, and I pulled it in the store, and again, it was one of those deals where you just didn't get those very often, and it had a really cool part of the patch of trying to remember. It was like maybe the ethanol fuel or something, but it was part of it. It was a really nice, colorful patch. I still have that, but I'm in the hobby store, and again, you get those looks like when you pull something like that and you're jumping up and down and screaming and you're happy. And especially it was Dalenhart Senior. So yeah, I'm real partial to the driver suits.
When you're saying that, it made me think of, I can't remember who originally thought of the autograph for Upper Deck, but the article I had read mentioned that I think he was watching Willy Wonka in a Chocolate Factory with his son, and he kind of had come up with that idea, something like that, so that when you open that pack and you got that, it was that, massive, rush, that like winning the golden ticket to go to the factory. It was, and that's exactly kind of like you're describing back then, of course, pulling a Earnhardt Senior. If people haven't realized that his stuff is super limited and is kind of escalated in price. And we did see an auction. I don't know if we talk about it here or not. That 3 of 3 that went for over $800 the other day for, I think it was a three swatch. So Dale Earnhardt Senior stuff is in high demand and short supply. So, but going back to the thing, it was a big deal to pull something like that when we talked about maybe one per case and to get that. And
could you imagine the uproar now of a one per case hit? I mean, like that's it, not the ones where there's like 3 things per box and then a case hit. Like that's it. Like
that was the one, right? Yeah, you went through all those packs and you got the one, not the, like finding a color blast or something and you get something out of every box. It was, nothing but other one. Yeah, there were people would, I guess, lose their mind.
Yeah, I guess if you look at it, the memorabilia cards and the autograph cards back in the day are kind of like our color blast now.
Yeah.
But that's part of the problem, I guess. They've added more and more, and you get all the saturation of all the memorabilia. But I don't say that it loses luster, but so again, I think NASCAR leads itself to that because, to your point, Logan, I think when you see a whenever I see a really cool 3-color piece or whatever it is, I think at the show I picked up a really cool Justin Allgaier. It was red, and I think it had the blue threading through, where the seam or whatever. It just looked really cool, and it was really big. It's like, you just can't pass that kind of stuff up.
No, you really can't. It's kind of like, you remember when Press Pass was doing the showcase sets back in, the early 2000s, 2010s. And, they had those big patch pieces on some of those things. Those things were beautiful.
Like I said, I think they do a good job. And when you see something like that, when you get a big swatch and it's all one color, it's like, I don't know. I always enjoy when you get the multicolor and the big patch. And of course, Panini now with the total patches, like in the Prime, where you got like the whole Monster Energy patch, or getting the FedEx patch for Danny Hamlin. That's really cool.
Yeah, those. In fact, talking about Panini and their memorabilia cards, I think the Prime really has some of the best. The best fire suit patches out there. Well, of course, they're the only ones doing it, but as far as the different brands, I like the Prime probably just about as good as any of the other issues.
Now, would that be equal to the Logo Man in basketball, right? Because that is a monster patch, to my knowledge, right? If you get a basketball patch and you get a Logo Man,
it definitely is, in my opinion. Focusing more on other sports than the NASCAR. NASCAR doesn't have that logo like all the other sports do, where NBA Logo Man, everybody has that on their jersey or on their, I don't know if they have it on their shorts as well. Same with the MLB logo for baseball. Everybody has it on the back of their waist. So it is, to me, it's similar, but it's not quite the same, because not everybody has the same logo.
So would it be equivalent then to the Monster Energy patch when Monster Energy sponsored the league? Because everybody had a Monster Energy patch.
I would say that's probably as close as you'd get, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. And what about the NASCAR logo itself?
That's what I was just thinking too, but I can't remember if that's on the fire suit or not.
Yeah, I honestly, if it was for $1 million right now, I couldn't tell you one way or the other.
I feel like if it could have been done, Panini would have already jumped on that.
Now I do know, and this is different for every driver, but they do on their fire suit, they have a belt, and on that belt is like their name. The Jimmy Johnson or whatever. And so I've seen that in National Treasures where they've taken that and put that in like a booklet.
Yeah, doing the first and last names.
Yeah. What other thing would be really cool, and I don't know if it probably is too big, but the name over the door from the car. Yeah, as a sheet metal.
That'd be way too big, but they could cut it up and make it into like 1 of 8 or 1 of 10 or whatever. And there are people that try to collect all those puzzle pieces and put that together.
Yeah, I've seen some of the folks on Twitter and Facebook and stuff, and they show the puzzle, how far they've gotten, and looking for help to find some of the other puzzle pieces, which that's amazing.
It is amazing. If you can ever complete one of those, that's a feat unto itself.
Now, Logan had his list of everything that Press Pass had done, but are there any types of swatches that you guys would like to see that are legitimately possible? Like, is there any sort of item that is racing exclusive that hasn't been done, or maybe hasn't been done enough? Now, I know you said the windshield pieces, but kind of going to what Val said, how difficult is that? So is there something that's legitimately possible?
Well, I mean, okay, they did lug nuts, so they were able to slice off,
right,
very thin slices of lug nuts. So why couldn't they do that from the side view of like a steering wheel? You know, maybe have a ratio steering wheel. I mean, I'm sure those steering wheels, you know, they're not that expensive. I'm sure the teams wouldn't mind giving that up. But that would be cool if they could have a side slice of the steering wheel. You know, kind of like in football. Remember they used to have the face mask cards.
Yeah.
Where they cut them up like that. It'd be kind of the same kind of thing. And I think that would fit on a card.
I think
what
so.
What width would that be? Like a quarter, maybe?
Yeah, probably quarter, maybe in between a quarter and a 50-cent piece, maybe.
Because I know what you're talking about for the face mask cards, and those are, you know, smaller than a dime, probably half the size. So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, there would be plenty of room.
So I don't know if you could pull this off. How about this one? A Martinsville clock.
Oh wow! Imagine trying to get one of those from a driver. Oh boy!
Yeah, take how many pieces could you put on a card there? Lug gears and.
Well, you know, in that same thought process, how about a race trophy?
Oh yeah.
A cut up trophy. You know, Carl Edwards never kept any of his trophies. He gave them all away. You know, he could have given some to press pass and said, "Here, cut these suckers up and put them on cards." Now, wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, I don't think we have a winning trophy, or you know, the one from Charlotte Motor Speedway or whatever, which is the like that piston or whatever it is. And so yeah, maybe that's something. I know. Well, Kyle Busch, when he broke the guitar up, so he can give it a piece to each of his pit guys or whatever.
Oh yeah, when he won. I remember when he busted up that that guitar. Oh God, people were freaking out over that too. And I know Sam Bass, the artist, he was. I don't know if he was happy about that or not. He probably, if it was me and I put all that effort into it, I don't know that I'd be that happy about somebody destroying it either. But hey, it was his. He won it. He can do with it what he wants, and more power to him. You know.
I guess, I don't know, you know, rock legends and breaking guitars and all the other stuff and then winning the guitar. And I don't know if they talked about that beforehand, but it kind of seemed, I guess maybe that's why it lends itself into destroying it and giving the piece to each of the crew. So, but the other one I was thinking of is because lug nuts now are kind of no more the standard 5 that we're used to. So, the new lug nut is going to be much bigger, I believe, than, you know, the old one. So I don't know if we're going to have lug nut cards anymore or what.
We can have pieces of a lug nut, I guess.
So I guess those, you know, we're going to miss that sound in the pits with hitting that air wrench with the multiple lugs, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be way different. Instead of that sound, it'll just be like.
And then a few seconds later, another one.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll be missing multiple.
We sure will. But I mean, that's been around since NASCAR's been around. So
since day one, literally. Jason, talking about things to put on memorabilia cards. I can't really think of much else. But when you think about Panini hasn't delved into all the I won't say crazier stuff, but all the alternate types of memorabilia. Panini hasn't done windows, they haven't done window nets. But something that Panini doesn't do that Press Pass did is on the card, Press Pass would say, underneath the little swatch that you had, it was a fire suit or it was a hat or a sock or a glove or whatever, but Panini doesn't do that. So you kind of have to guess what it is. I mean, of course, you can guess the tires. You can usually guess the fire suits and things like that. But, once you get past that, like I said, they don't do lug nuts. They don't do any of the, like I said, the less popular things that you would put on memorabilia cards. But I would like to see Panini actually say, okay, fire suit or tire or shoes or gloves or whatever it is that they're using. Because like I said, you just have to leave it to your imagination. But most of the time it's usually tires or driver suits, it seems like.
It is interesting that they don't do that, because what is it hurting? Like, what's it hurting for them to put it on there? I guess I don't know if I said that correctly, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, because it's not on the card, there's no advantage or disadvantage to them. It's more of a disadvantage to collectors, like you said.
Well, the only thing I can think of, the reason they don't do that is they can have a one-size-fits-all card. They can have a card ready, and they can insert a piece of sheet metal, a piece of tire, a piece of driver suit in
whatever.
There, and put whatever in there, and then on the back it's going to say, you know, this is guaranteed by Panini, and that way, you know, it maybe is, you know, lowers their cost a little bit. I don't know. I can't speak to that for sure.
Which is really where we're at, because if you think of the early 2000s and Dawn Wrestling Playoff, and I think Press Pass as well, they used to put, you know, what it was, a picture of it before they cut it up. You know, they used to say what game or event it was from, to give the date, sometimes give the scores of the game. Like, compared to what it was in the early 2000s, it is very simplistic. And I understand, like you said, it's cost cutting. It's that template. Let's, you know, move these out the door. But I think the more information, the better. But again, I understand it's just not as interesting.
Yeah, I just wish they would say what it was. If they could do that, I'd be really happy with that. I mean, but I am glad that, you know, we're collecting NASCAR, and they are using race used memorabilia, unlike, you know, some of the sports where a lot of it is just player worn or whatever. So it may not have necessarily been in a game. So we're fortunate in that respect.
Yeah, because there's a lot of that player worn. It's player worn in the conference room, you know, type stuff. And there's that infamous picture of the one guy with 20 jerseys on a few years ago. So yeah, NASCAR, very lucky.
Yeah, it's kind of like those flags that are flown over the Capitol building or the White House, where they got a guy up there and he attaches it, sends it up the flagpole, sends it right back down, does another one, keeps doing it like real quick, you know. But it was flown over the White House.
Yeah, there's so much available for folks and companies when it comes to NASCAR. Like Jason, we've talked about Racing Warehouse before,
yep,
where you know, it's available to the general public. They, you know, are able to go to the race shops or have some kind of relationship with them to get, you know, fire suits or crew shirts, sheet metal. When they have the fan days and stuff like that, there's, you know, no shortage of sheet metal. Actually, I think some of them actually put them up on their websites as well. I think Joe Gibbs and some of them. So there's plenty of memorabilia, you know, if you're a NASCAR collector, and hoods and everything else. So I think, actually, now that you think about it, I don't know why, I just thought the Racing Warehouse, you could buy windshields from them too, and gas cans. That's, I think, one thing we're missing, Logan, is gas cans. Can. But I think, you know, trying to cut that down and make sure that has no gas fumes in there. So
yeah, there is that high octane fuel. Yeah, I can see people now going around smelling packs to try to find out which one's got the race used gas can in it.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to talk about was in 1996 as well is the Press Pass M-Force. I thought those were pretty cool as well. They're actually like a clear card with a player image and then a pretty decent chunk of sheet metal. I guess it's about 2 inches wide and maybe ½ inch high or whatever. One thing I did see is that, you know, some of them are starting to rust with that sheet metal inside of it. So
yeah, I can imagine that. Imagine what they'll be like 100 years from now.
I don't know, but, you know, some of them, I was looking at some of the closing prices for them. A Dale Earnhardt closed October 21st for 112, and a Jeff Gordon also on the 21st for 133. And there's a
really
few
not
other
bad.
ones, in the 50s and 60s. So with Bobby Labonte and Bill Elliott. So, but that's one of the ones that caught my eye, over the years. I have not tried to complete that set, but those are numbered out of 200. So
Yeah, again, those are limited. I mean, think about it. I mean, in the grand scheme of things today, that's really not a lot. So there's a lot of good buys out there if you're a NASCAR trading card collector. Still, I mean, it's a wide open market. It's it's a good to be a NASCAR collector is a good thing.
I think there's so much opportunity so we have a few sets that come out a year, 3 or 4, and we have lulls between those, and that gives you time to, collect, and hopefully, you're listening to NASCAR radio for, some ideas for some of these different things, but, you can work on one of these insert sets, if it's not popular right, now or whatever, it's more about the collecting, and if there's a driver you like, or if there's a set, the 96, with these first sets for memorabilia, they're probably right in the wheelhouse, or the windshield set, or the window net set, or I think there was actually, and I don't know if you did or not, but there was a piston.
I did not have that on my list.
Upper Deck did that.
A piston. Wow.
Yeah,
I vaguely remember that now that you say that.
because what just came to me is it's like Road to the Cup or one of those in the late 90s. Yeah, because I remember seeing the Rusty Wallace piston ring.
Yeah,
But anyway, so
he was their guy.
yeah, so I mean, you can, if you're not a set collector, I mean, you can either, if one of these are your drivers, or if you want one of these little sets to collect. So I think there's a lot of opportunity, and don't be afraid to go off and do something that you want to do or like. That's cool. So there's a lot of cool different memorabilia sets. So
yeah, and something else it's memorabilia related from back in 1998 from Pinnacle, even though it's not a card, but in 1998 Pinnacle created they had all those coins back then, and one of the things they did was they had they were called the Mint Jeff Gordon Championship coins, and there were 2 coins, and what they had done is they had his hood from his Talladega car in 1997, and they melted it down and made coins out of that sheet metal that they melted down, and you can still pick those up for a really good price right now. I think that's really, really cool.
I knew they had the mint, and I knew there was like a silver version and a different version, but I didn't realize they did that with Jeff Gordon's hood.
Yeah, they took his 1997 Talladega hood, melted it down, and made coins. So
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool. I have both of those coins, and I think those are some of the coolest things out there as far as race use memorabilia. Taking it and talk about repurposing it. That's a heck of a way to repurpose.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of different things that have been produced, and again, we're fortunate that we're not getting inundated with different products every month, every week. So it allows you to some time to breathe and collect other things as well. So
yeah, and I just really want to mention a couple of sets that I like that are memorabilia sets. Of course, I like the Panini. We talked about it a while ago, the 2019 Panini Prime Jumbo patches. Those are really, really nice. They have, like the car manufacturer logo on them, and they have the associate sponsors and the primary sponsors and all those things. And I like those patches. And then there's another kind of odd one from 2002 from Press Pass VIP. And it's the Coca-Cola racing tires that they used. And it was a 10-card set, and they were limited to 900 per card, but it's a really cool looking set. I mean, I can see where that set would be a crossover for Coca-Cola collectors because it's got the Coca-Cola logo and all that on there, along with the piece of the race shoes tire. And I have a set of those, and that's one of my favorite memorabilia sets. It's a pretty cool set. And then of course, you're talking about Val, the lug nuts. 2000 was the first year they did those, and those were in Optima in 2000. And those were also limited. They had 20 different drivers, but there was only 100 per driver. So again, that's 2000. So there wasn't a whole lot. I'm writing that
down there.
Yeah, the 2000 Optima lug nuts. There's 20. That'd be a cool. See, that's 20 cards, and I guarantee you could find people like Dave Blaney and all those, really inexpensively. And of course, you're going to pay for Earnhardt and some of the others, but you could get the majority of that set just by, checking it out on eBay and finding them on eBay. I think you could get half the set in probably no time at all.
I'll let you know.
You're on it now, huh?
I think so. I think that might, like I said, you had me at lug nut.
yeah, but that's the first. See, and that's one of the things I like too about collecting. I like collecting like the first of something. So that'd be the first year of the lug nuts in 2000. So that would be a cool one to get. And of course, those cards are heavy. I can remember buying packs at our local hobby store when they were selling packs. I just grabbed a handful of packs, and as I put them down, it's like, wait a minute, this one's like really heavy. So that's the only one I think I ever pulled. I think it was like a Matt Kenseth lug nut, I think is what that was, if I remember correctly. But yeah, those were really heavy packs.
Now I'm going to go really old school on you. So I remember back in, I guess it was 1990 when Pro Set had those like Vince Lombardi cards or whatever it is. It was like the hologram. And you would hear or read stories in like the SCD where people were bringing it to their dentist office so they could use the X-ray to see if there was a card in there, or run it through like the X-ray machine at the airport or something like that to find out if there was a hologram card in there. So, but I digress.
Oh no, you're not digressing at all, because you made me think of this. Remember in 1991 the Pro set that came out. I think it was the first year. They had the Winston Cup hologram in there, and I had heard rumors that card was like on the top two packs. Top, because in the box you had two stacks, so it was on the top on either one of those stacks. So when I was going to stores, you'd be surprised. And of course, it's not like this now at all. But back then, you could go into like Toys R Us or go into any of these stores, and they would have boxes sitting there, for sale. Not the box itself for sale, but they were just sitting there, but they weren't opened for display yet. So I would open those up and buy packs, just the top two packs out of every one of them, right? And I remember one day, this is that jumping up and down thing again. I had bought, it was at I remember, I can still see it. I bought them from Toys R Us. I came home. I was in my front yard of my house. My wife was outside, and she goes, "What did you get?" And I said, "Well, I bought some 1991 Pro Set Winston Cup cards." And she goes, "Let's open them up." So we opened them up, and she was opening them up, and I was opening up. I opened up one, and sure enough, there was a hologram in there. And I'm in my front yard of my house, and I was, again, jumping up and down, screaming, carrying on. And my neighbor across the street is like just kind of watching. It was like a few days later, he was outside, and I was going to get my mail and stuff. He goes, "I saw you jumping up and down in your yard." He goes, "Is everything okay?" And I had to explain to him what had happened. And of course, he wasn't a collector. He didn't understand it. But, being a collector, that was a big deal.
Yeah, getting those was massive back then.
Yeah,
and it was a Willy Wonka moment. Yeah.
It was true about the top two packs, apparently, because that's what I had bought. They had like 4 or 5 boxes that they hadn't put out on display. They were just kind of sitting back in the shelf. And I just opened them up and bought, the 2 packs on top of every one of those boxes. Wow. So it's still got to be that way. So if you see any out there that are unopened, I mean, I don't know it's not going to happen, but still, I'm pretty sure for sure it's the top 2 packs for that. Anyway, I digress.
No, that's good. Well, with the junk wax era, you never know. Folks might run into that wax still. So,
Yep.
but I was going to say, moving over to eBay auctions, I saw a pretty interesting auction. I guess it ended a few days ago. It was a 1988 Max set with 95 signatures, and then the binder was also signed. It was the Max logo signed by Dale Earnhardt, and that went for $1,080. There are a lot of autographs in there, and multiple Dale Earnhardts, and a few tougher autographs to get. So I think it was a 100-card set for $1,000. So it's a little over $10 a card in the binder. So that's probably a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I think that's a great deal. Whoever got that, and remember back in the day, Val, the binders were almost as collectible as the cards were, because people wanted the binders, and a lot of them you could only get from the manufacturers, and they were limited, and you couldn't get you couldn't always get a binder. So if you had a binder, that was a big deal.
Yeah, I guess there was a phase where from the late 80s to the mid 90s, manufacturers produced a binder per year. And that was something to collect. I know the different Max sets had those. I think Press Pass, I think I have like a 94 wheels high gear factory binder. So yeah, those were in demand, and the Masters of Racing and stuff. So some of them command not high prices, but $20 or whatever for some of those binders. And I know like with the 88 Max, there was the black logo, and then I think it was a red logo. I think they changed it for 89, but yeah, the binders were collectible too. I think everybody's kind of gotten out of that. I guess people aren't putting their cards in sheets anymore and stuff. So
yeah, think about the Winter Circle binders too.
Oh yes, yeah.
Topps tried it with some baseball sets a few years ago. I want to say 14, 15, 16, maybe something like that. They did Heritage, Allen and Ginner, maybe regular Topps, like the flagship, but I know they did some, not custom because they're manufactured with Topps, but whatever you want to call them, binders that went with the set.
Yeah. How were those accepted by the baseball collectors? Were people trying to get them?
No, there was a lot of clearance items there. Because I think I bought an Allen and Ginner one off a Blowout when I ordered, a few $100s worth of stuff one time, and I think I got it for $10 or $15, and I just bought it. I like the binders, and I thought, well, I'll buy the binder, then I'll make the set. I have no interest in Allen and Ginner, but I like the binders and stuff that much that it's worth it to me to do it.
Yeah, that could have been a racing thing, because I can remember, it's like what you said, Val, about like the Pioneers of Racing and Winter Circle and all the other different cards that were made back then. People had to have those binders, and they went for pretty good money back then, just like, of course, like a lot of the stuff did back then. But I think it was pretty much a racing thing.
Well, I know, like in 92 Max, you had like the complete set and sheets and the binder, and it was all cellophane wrapped, and that was, the way you got it. It actually had, if I remember right, like the binder would go into like a book, so you could, it'd square it up and use it for put on your shelf. So,
yep.
Pro Set did some too, because I have actually bought these from Kruk Cards. I bought cases of binders for Dinosaurs, the TV show. They did the Desert Storm Pro set where it's like the tanks and the helicopters. I have binders for that. And then also for the music cards, the Pro Set music cards, I have binders for those as well. I don't know that they did any of the football or hockey binders, but they definitely did some non-sport.
Maybe because, I was thinking, it's different to put 100 card racing card set in sheets as opposed to a 800 card, 792 Topps baseball, card in sheets. So
Yeah, that would take multiple binders.
yeah, I think when I had done it once or twice, you had to put the cards back to back or whatever. So it's a job. After you get through the first couple of pages, it's like,
And then if you screw up, you just want to dump the whole thing on the floor and walk away. Yeah.
It's like, all right, it's been 5 minutes. All right, where did I go wrong with my number?
Yeah.
Or I was thinking of like the 86 Topps where there's 2 of one number and another number is missing. And so you got to know about that ahead of time or it'll screw you up.
Card sheets and floppy disks are kind of on the same list for me. I can't remember the last time I've done either one of those.
Now, I do. I've been putting the Donruss optic sets in sheets. I guess the Prism versions of those. So that's the only thing I've been. And then the Topps baseball OOT sets, those also go in binders. Otherwise than that, that's all that goes in the binders. And maybe some Prism parallels like the camo or something like that.
Well, I could see where putting like the Prism type cards and sheets is not that big a deal because the chances of you messing up a corner on one of those is a lot less than on a regular cardboard manufactured type card when you put it in the sheet. You know what I'm saying? Where you ding a corner or flip a little piece of the cardboard up, because you'll see that on cards and binders. You'll see them and people go, oh, these things are mint, and you start looking at them and there's like on some of the corners there's a little piece of cardboard turned up or missing or something when they threw it in the sheet. They just didn't put it in there right.
Well, they're not all PSA 10s, Logan. I mean, we can't all have that sort of collection.
It's funny. When I was a kid, my cousin was always the one who kept everything really nice shape, and I was always tearing up toys and things. And then now it's the opposite with my cards. My cousin, he doesn't keep anything nice or do anything nice, and I'm trying to keep everything as nice as I can. It's really funny how the roles have been reversed.
Well, for the through the mail collectors, that 88 Max, I've said it before, is a great set. There's still a lot of the drivers still with us that signed through the mail. So, working on a set like that, you might not be able to. You might have to get some of the guys on the secondary market, and you don't have to necessarily go after them either. You could, go after the Hall of Famers, the Dale Jarrett's and Bill Elliott's and such. So, Mark Barton.
Yeah, because when we go to the Hall of Fame, a lot of those Hall of Famers, their first cards were 88 Max. So I'm always carrying 88 Max with me to have them sign their rookie cards. And plus, like I said, they're just regular cardboards. They don't have the UV coating or anything like that. So they sign really well. They've got the white borders. The autographs look good. So it's just an all around good set to get autographed.
I was thinking Darryl Waltrip when you're saying the guys, you can send it to their shops and they'll sign. So
except for Rusty Wallace.
Rusty Wallace might be a little tougher, but
I'm going to digress just again for just a minute. There was like an episode of one of the racing shows years ago, maybe like Inside Winston Cup or something like that. So that gives you an idea of how long ago it was. But they were showing, Kenny Wallace was doing something. He went over to Rusty's shop and he was just talking to Rusty, and he went into the room where he keeps all the stuff that needs to be signed. And they showed this room with Rusty Wallace's stuff in there. He had just stacks and stacks of mail and die-cast and all the things he needed to sign. That when he gets them, he just throws them in there. He never, ever was signing anything. It just kind of went into a room, kind of like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, it just kind of went in there and was gone. It was funny, though, because Kenny Wallace was really giving him the business about it. So it was funny.
And I don't know how I even missed this one, but it should have been the first one I mentioned is if you're going to get 188 Max card autographed, it's got to be number EP73. So you got to send it to the king.
Absolutely. And you could send them in to his museum. I think you can, I forget how many it is per year that you can get signed, something signed, but you can send them in, and he goes in there literally every week, and he's got a couple ladies that work in there, and they lay out everything on these really long tables, and he just goes through and signs everything, and then they pack it all back up and send it back. But he does it once a week. You'll get it back within a couple weeks easy, because he's really good about that. He cares about the fans, and there's a lot of drivers out there that should take a lesson from him.
And you're getting the full autograph.
You are getting the full
artwork.
You're not getting an I give up.
Jason, did you send one in? I think
I was actually trying to think of what I did send in. I know I have one or two, but I cannot think of what they are. But I definitely do.
I think it's 2 per year, and the 88 Max might be a little bit harder to find now with some of the craziness. So it might cost you $10 or $20, but it's definitely a good one to have. So
I know I have like an index card, because I don't mind, just plain index cards being signed, but can't think of what the card is. So,
and Logan's right. If you send it to the museum, he signs all the time, and it doesn't go to the Raiders of the Lost Ark room. So.
I think it was the last time. Was it the last time or time before last? I think I was at the Hall of Fame, and I went up to Richard Petty's museum in Randleman, and I was in there walking around, and of course the ladies there. That's another thing too. If you go into the museum there and you buy something, you can say, hey, can Richard autograph this? And they'll say, yeah, just leave it here. You'll have to pay the shipping to get it back to you. But if you leave it there, he'll also sign it and send it back to you.
Yeah, it's like, do you want a gift wrap? No. Yeah. He's like, would you like it autographed or non-autographed? And
yeah. And when I was there, they said, you just missed Richard. He left about 15 minutes ago. It's like, oh crap, really? Dang. I would love to have seen him.
Yeah, looking forward to the Hall of Fame here in another 2 months.
Yeah, it won't be long.
Into January, yeah. So, what's going on right now then with NASCAR?
Oh, well, yeah. Right now with NASCAR, the award ceremony is going on in Nashville as we speak. It started on Wednesday and ends Friday. As we're recording tonight, they're doing the burnouts on Broadway with the cars. So they're out there in the middle of Broadway in Nashville, doing burnouts with their cars. So I think that's pretty cool. But the formal awards are going to be on Thursday. And I think that NBC SN is going to record it and air it on December 4th at 6:00 Eastern. So it's not going to be a live ceremony like I think it's been, or like it used to be in the past, but they are recording it, and they're going to show it on Saturday. So that's going to be cool. So yeah, the awards are going on as we speak. I wish I could go. It's only 3 hours from my house, but my work schedule, since it's in the middle of the week, just doesn't allow it.
They need to have that stuff on the weekend.
They do need to have that stuff on the weekend, man. They need to have it like on a Saturday night. You can go there on a Friday, maybe take a Friday off, go up there and have a big old time. I'm sure you could get a lot of autographs.
Yeah, I didn't look this year to see, but usually they'll have, things to be able to get autographed or have drivers there that'll sign autographs. So NASCAR does a great job with the fans. Of course, I don't know with the COVID stuff, but I know pre-COVID they used to do that in Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm digressing just a little bit, but when I went to Nashville, the Nashville sports card show a few months ago, I mean, none of the signees that I remember were wearing any masks or anything. I mean, I know Pete Rose was shaking hands and Reggie Jackson was shaking hands, and but people were getting pictures with people without masks and everything. So, I guess the restrictions, it depends on who you are and how strict they want to be, but it certainly wasn't strict at that show. So you want to talk about some more eBay real quick?
Yeah, I was going to say, the one I saw, this closed November 22nd. I don't think we talked about it. But it's a 1988 Dale Earnhardt Sr. promo card, but it's from the 94 Max Medallion, so it has the numbered at a 999, and it was a PSA 9, and it went for $1,006.96, had 29 bids.
Wow.
But it was the 1994 Max Medallion, and those were case hits, one per case. I believe it was a redemption.
Oh God, I remember that too. Man, only one of our local hobby shops. Back then we had double-digit hobby shops, but there was only one that had the Max Medallion, and I remember going in there buying 4 or 5 boxes, hoping to get that card, and I never was able to get it that way.
Yeah, that's credible for a 9. I mean, before, I guess, the craziness here in the last year or two, I think, that was like $150 card or $200 card, raw, I guess you would say. So, and they're all in pretty good shape. But yeah, 29 bids and $1,006.
That's pretty impressive. I never thought I'd see a 9 go for that, but things are crazy and times are different.
Well, as we talked about it, right? It's a glamour card, right?
It is a glamour card, as we talked about last week.
Was there any other auctions you saw you wanted to talk about?
Yeah. Again, it seems to be that Natalie Decker right now is commanding high prices for things. Back on the 30th, which was as we record yesterday, there was a 2021 Panini Prism Natalie Decker Gold Vinyl Auto 1 of 1 redemption that had a buy it now price of $999.99, and somebody went click and bought it.
So it wasn't a best offer; it was the actual price.
Yeah, it was buy it now. They bought it. I also saw some other things out there, like the Haley Deegan USA insert card. That one went, this is again 2021 Prism. That one went for $76 with 21 bids. So that was pretty hefty for that card. There was also a Jeff Gordon Color Blast, which I think this actually probably in the grand scheme of things is probably a good deal because again, it's a 2021 Prism Jeff Gordon Color Blast. It went for $226.38 with 34 bids. So, like I said, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, that's, when you think about it, that's less than 2 boxes of, or no, yeah, less than 2 boxes of Prism. If you were to buy them, you get a Jeff Gordon Color Blast card. So, I actually thought that was pretty good for that card.
Yeah.
Because those things are tough, man. You just don't hardly see them on eBay.
I said, if you're going to build an iconic set, I think that Color Blast will be, again, this is the second year of Color Blast, and the way they're accepted in the market, I'm sure there'll be Color Blast sets, inserts, case hits for years to come. So
I'm not sure if I missed it last week, but did you guys talk about the Dale Jr. Color Blast? We mentioned it the week before that it was active, and then it went for, didn't it go for over 1,000? Some crazy number.
Yeah, it was over $1,000 for that. And I think we talked about a few of the other Color Blasts because there was that one, and then there was a buy it now. I think it was the same day where somebody must have seen that one, and then they had it for a little cheaper price, but like 2 of them sold for $1,000 a piece there that same day. So
yeah, it went for $1,175.
Wow. So the Jeff Gordon one, I mean, Jeff Gordon's got 4 championships. Junior's got zip.
Yeah, that's what really surprised me because one sold by it now. Well, best offer. There was a $500 one, and then a best offer where it's $1,000, but that's not the price. And then this one, 31 bids went for $1,175. So pretty crazy.
I think Junior's got that fan base. He's got this TV show, and all the other things that he's definitely in the media a lot more than Jeff Gordon. I mean, he does his announcing, but he does it half the year or so. But I think the Color Blasts are going to be that, like we talked about. That'll be a really cool insert set to collect and get graded.
Yeah, I keep hoping I hit one out of a box. I know that's wishful thinking, but I still keep thinking it's going to happen.
Well, I don't know. With some of that luck you've gotten with the hologram card and the other things that we've talked about today, you got some pretty good luck, or you open a bunch.
Well, I've had a lot of. We'll talk about this some other time, but I've had a lot of last pack mojo over the years, so we'll have to talk about that some other time because I've got so many things I can tell you about that. I don't want to get into it right now. Oh, and there's another thing on eBay that I want to talk about, and it's more of a listing thing, and to me, it's kind of misleading. There's a listing on there right now that says 2 factory sealed packs of 1988 Max. Look for true Dale Earnhardt rookie card. It shows two of the cello packs of 88 Max, and then it shows a couple of the 1988 number 99 promo cards with that. Is, like you're going to get that card out of those packs. That is not true. So to me, that is misleading. So for those of you who may not know, that promo card does not come out of those 88 Max cello packs. So, that is a very misleading auction, in my opinion.
Yeah, that card was pulled from circulation before the pack out. So there's no way. And if you did find one, it was going to be in a Myrtle Beach pack and not a Charlotte pack. And then again, you have a better chance of winning the lottery and getting hit by lightning, I think, than finding an Earnhardt promo out of a pack. So I think that's totally misleading. So
so watch out for that. You're not going to get that card out of those packs. That you're going to get the number 87, which shows Winston Cup champion with his car and everything, but you're not going to get that number 99 promo card.
Right. And if you've listened to the show, that's a short print. That number 87 card is a short print. You can get a Richard Petty or whatever, but you won't get that Earnhardt promo. Yeah.
And one more thing that I saw social media wise was CSG had their graded card of the day, and it was a 2021 Donruss Optic Signatures of Haley Deegan. It was a 9.5. So, even though it's not PSA or anything, that's kind of cool that, these other grading companies are, recognizing NASCAR and made that, their card of the day. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. And the SMR cover.
Yeah. The SMR cover, I think we touched on it last week, is Lewis Hamilton. And there's a story about Lewis Hamilton in there. It's got talks about a little bit about his history, talks about the history of his cards. It talks about the ones before Topps. So it's a good little read, and it gives you a lot of knowledge. Actually, Kevin Glue wrote that article, and it gives you some good knowledge. If you didn't know much before, you'll know a lot more once you read that article.
And who do we want to give a shout out to?
Oh, yeah. We want to give a shout out to Joe, aka I didn't buy these, on Instagram. He's a follower of the show, and we appreciate his support. He was going on a plane the other day, and he downloaded some of our episodes so he can listen to it on the plane. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Thank you for listening to the show, and thank everybody else for listening to the show as well. This is why we do it for the listeners. Hopefully share some knowledge and give you an advantage when you're at the show looking for cards or on your particular website of choice.
Yeah, and there's one other thing that we need to say, and Jason, we haven't mentioned his name. What's his name that we haven't mentioned so far on this show? Come on.
You're going to make me do it. It's Ty freaking Gibbs.
There we go. Ty freaking Gibbs.
So we covered, got a Haley Deegan and Ty freaking Gibbs on the show. So
We love you, Ty freaking Gibbs.
actually now it's time to be looking at some of his stuff. So if you can find it, there's definitely bargains to be found right now. Out of sight, out of mind. Daytona is coming. So now's the time to be, if you're looking at buying some NASCAR cards, and you can pick and choose looking for the bargain. So
yeah, now's the time, I think. It's I don't think it's as pronounced as it used to be with prices going lower during the off seasons of all the different sports, but still I think you can buy some find some good buys during the off season of NASCAR for sure.
Oh, and hopefully everybody took advantage of some of the Black Friday deals. I tweeted out about the 2016 certified that Steel City had lowered down to, I think it was about right at $60 a box.
Yeah, I saw that, and because of your tweet, I bought 4 boxes.
Peer pressure.
What's that?
Peer pressure.
Oh, again, that the 2016 is I think good stuff. So with all the craziness and some of the prices for all this stuff, it just, I guess, was 4 hits per box. So, and it's got those freshman fire suits and stuff like that. So
yeah,
hopefully
that's a good set.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, for a short show, we're at over an hour again.
Yeah, over an hour.
Well, I definitely appreciate everybody listening to the show. Like I said, hopefully we're adding some value, and you had a good time and listening to the show, as well as learning a few things about memorabilia cards and some of the different types of stuff. So I don't know, gentlemen, if you have anything else you want to say.
I think I'm good.
Nope, same here.
Well, again, thanks to our sponsors, Panini America, Greenway Press, and Duggan's Toy Chest. Thanks for listening. Please share and like the podcast, share NASCAR trading cards with your friends. And from me and the guys, we will catch you next week.